Hello and welcome back to another video in the Amalfi Coast. Today I'm going to be talking about hedonism, pleasure, compulsive desires and the addictive part of the mind. So right now I am in honestly one of the most beautiful places in the world in my opinion. You know, you got the mountains over there which are just incredible. We hiked up there the other day and it was like probably the highest gradient walk I've ever done, but you got some absolutely mental views of the Amalfi Coast, and it's a weird one here because it's a bit different to what I'm used to. You know, I'm usually in Manchester in the city centre and you get all kinds of people there. You get the drug addicts, you got people who are alcoholics, you have violence, you have danger, you have crime. I mean, there's some absolutely amazing parts as well. I'm very privileged to live in quite a nice area in particular, which has kind of been gentrified over the years, and it's got nicer and nicer and nicer since I first moved in about 8 years ago there. But here it's just totally different. You know, there's no homeless people, there's no one addicted to drugs or alcohol as far as you can see, although yesterday I was actually getting a nice coffee and the woman in the queue behind me, she was probably in her 50s, an American woman. She goes, "Oh, I'll scrap the coffee, get a vodka," like go straight on the vodka. And it's just like, what on earth is going on with our culture? You know, the hedonism, the pleasure, egotistical pursuits, they are ever present. And looking at the super yachts and the way people live out here, it's helped me understand better than ever that look, you could be on this roller coaster of trying to make money, care about yourself, you know, go on some pursuit to be like Dan Bilzerian or Andrew Tate, but really what you'd be doing is you would just be living in your addiction of wanting more and more, because desire and trying to acting on desire, so let's say it's the desire to amass massive wealth, acting on that desire, that in itself is compulsive, and because it's a compulsive desire, it means it's insatiable. Now, it's totally understandable to try and make a lot of money to maybe look after yourself, look after your family, and really get your basic needs met. And obviously going out on a holiday like this is like a luxury, it's a privilege, it's something to be very grateful for in my opinion. And I think everyone can of course work towards that, and if you know you earn your own money, you work hard for it, I do believe you deserve to have a lot of enjoyment in your life for sure. But what I just want to talk about here is that I really believe the most enjoyment you can experience in life is, it's not going to come from something that is a sort of egotistical, self-driven pursuit. It's going to come from usually connection with people, or creating something amazing, or in my opinion, living in total alignment with your values. And this is where the porn addiction comes in, because if you're struggling with addiction, you could have successful job, successful relationships, you know, amazing friendships, you could have a massive house and a great car and have the freedom to travel and do whatever you want and all the money in the world. You could have all of that, okay? And we work with some clients who are incredibly successful, but I know from talking to them and from my personal experience of being in addiction that you could give a man the world, but if they're still struggling with their compulsive desires, it's going to mean next to nothing, because ultimately to achieve peace of mind, clarity, freedom, and to live a good, content life, we really need to prioritize living in alignment with our values and being in control of these different parts of our mind. For example, the addictive part of the mind, and knowing exactly how to deal with those moments where you've got compulsive desire, how to actually go, okay, what do I do right now in this moment? And if you can do that, I can almost promise you that all the different random superficial goals that you have, they're not going to mean much to you anymore, because you're going to be in control of yourself, living in alignment with your values moment by moment. And I think today there's a lot of terrible role models for this, people like Dan Bilzerian and Andrew Tate. You know, they're kind of showcasing these crazy, amazing, superficial lifestyles, but are they actually free from compulsive desire? Are they actually living in alignment with good values? And someone like Andrew Tate, to me, absolutely isn't, because if you look at the ways he made his money, it's through basically creating more and more of these sort of OnlyFans type models and webcam girls and all of this absolute nonsense, this hedonistic weird shit that's actually polluted our society now. And so yeah, I just want to share, basically, I think right now I'm kind of seeing the other side of life. You know, I'm seeing the people with all the money, with, you know, their girlfriend's 30 years younger than them, and I'm kind of seeing that that's kind of these are the people who have achieved the financial success. But I look at them and I think, well, okay, that's cool, that's great, and you know, some of them may be very happy, but you know, I think if you zoom out of all of that, what we all want, well, at least what I want more than anything, is just to live in alignment with my values. If I can do that, I'm going to be a very, very happy man. I'm going to live a very, very good life. And I don't think you can do that when you're in addiction, because you're always being pulled and dragged around like a puppet by the addictive part of the mind. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. Hopefully this video helps someone. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Hello.